Hey guys, welcome back to Fast Track New Agent Training. This is Module 3, and in Module 3 we will discuss a couple of things that I believe are really important to your success in every facet of your life. If you master these two things, you are going to go further faster. Those two things are this. Number one is goal setting, and number two is time management. So why are goal setting and time management so important? Well, goal setting is what you will use to create, quite simply, goals. They give you a direction, they give you something to shoot at, and as you set goals, you will find yourself increasing not only your performance, increasing your sales volume, but also really increasing every aspect of your business by setting goals and creating a roadmap to obtain those goals. The second thing is time management. Now, why is time management so important? Because without time management, your time will manage you. We work in an industry where everything is typically done by appointment. And if you're like me, I live and die by my calendar on my phone. And so I'm a firm believer in time management, setting those appointments so I can manage every aspect of my day, make sure I am productive where I need to be productive, make sure I'm where I need to be on time, and also to give myself a little time management for time off with family and that sort of thing. So let's dive in. We're going to start off first with goals. Now, one question I get a lot about goals is, Tim, why should I set goals? What is the purpose? And if I set goals, does it really help me? Well, the short answer is you should set goals primarily because without goals, you have nothing to shoot for. You have nothing to work toward. You really have no clear plan of achievement and advancement without goals. I think you should set goals in your personal life, your spiritual life, your emotional life, and especially in your business life. Because without goals, again, you're kind of wandering aimlessly. Think about it this way. This is the example that I use in class a lot. You wouldn't just leave your house and say, you know, I'm going to go to Albuquerque without having some kind of roadmap to get you to the goal of arriving in Albuquerque, okay? You wouldn't just get in your car and say, well, I'm just going to drive and see where I end up. Without goals, that's kind of how you're living your life. You're simply meandering through, you're taking day to day, you really don't have anything to work toward, and without those goals, I think you're going to find yourself just spinning your wheels, not accomplishing a lot. You're going to get frustrated, and chances are you're going to give up and quit. That's why setting goals, in real estate especially, is so important, because without goals, without that target, our chances of hitting it, our chances of advancing toward it are greatly reduced. So yeah, you should set goals, again, in every facet of your life. I'm a big believer in setting short and long-term goals. One of the exercises that I like to do with my entrepreneurial students and my agents is to have them write down their perfect day 1 year from today. And by that I simply mean I tell them to get in a quiet place, get a paper and pen or a tablet or a notebook or whatever, and I want them to close their eyes and imagine their perfect day 1 year from now. All right? You wake up, you do what? You take a shower, you get coffee, you start your day, but what is your day like? What have you accomplished, okay? And a lot of this is what I call Imagineering, okay? If I tell you, or if I ask you, okay, what is your goal 1 year from now as far as sales volume? Well, some agents may say, well, a year from now, I would like to have closed 10 deals, and I'd like to have 10 more in the pipeline. Some agents might say, well, I've closed 25 deals, I've done $3 million in volume, and I've got another 10 deals coming up. Really imagine, let your imagination run wild, and you create that day. And so once I have you imagine that day 1 year from now and what you have accomplished, what would your day look like? If you really had 1 year from now closed 10 deals and you had 10 more in the pipeline, what would your day be like? What would you have to get out of bed and do? Who would you see? Who would you talk to? What would you have to do to continue that success? And that's one thing about goals. Goals need to be lofty enough that they give you something to shoot for, but they need to be reasonable enough so you have a chance of actually hitting them. You can't just say, well, a year from now I want to make $1 million. That is just, that's not Imagineering, that's imagination, okay? You might very well have $1 million if you create a roadmap to get you there and do mini goals. So what I like to do is I will ask, okay, tell me your 1-year goals. 1 year from now, what goals would you like to have completed over the course of a year? And once they give me those goals, I ask them to break it down into the baby steps that they would need to take to reach the goal. And I want you to do the same thing. I want you to imagine your goal from 1 year from today, and then you're going to do 3 years and even 5 years. All right, those are the longer term goals. But if I ask you, what is your goal for 1 year from now? I want you to write it down. I really believe that writing down your goals will help you achieve them. If you just have goals in your head and you don't share them with anybody, you don't commit them to paper, your odds of actually achieving those goals is greatly reduced. So I want you to think about 1 year from now, what are your goals? Where would you like to be? How many deals would you like to have closed? And I don't care if you have nothing on the table right now. I'm talking about Imagineering. 1 year from now, how many deals have you closed? How many active deals do you have in the pipeline? What is your day like? All right, so I want you to write that down. 1 year from now, my goals are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once you've written down that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I want you to break that down into baby steps. For example, if 1 year from now, your goal is to have closed 10 deals, well, you must have done something to achieve that goal. What was it? Maybe you commit to holding 1 open house every week. Maybe you commit to doing 2 hours of phone calling every day for every day of the week. Or maybe you commit to doing door knocking. Maybe you commit to this and that. You've got to break down that goal into achievable steps that you can achieve and track if you are going to reach those goals. If you don't do that, you're really wasting your time. If all you do is say, well, 1 year from now, I want to have closed 10 deals and have made $50,000. Just saying that, putting that out to the universe is not going to accomplish anything for you. Write it down, then create a plan to get there. It's like going to Albuquerque. All right, I'm going to get on this interstate, then I'm going to get on this interstate, and then I'm going to do this. You're going to do that. It's the exact same thing. If your goal is to sell 10 homes, how are you going to reach that goal? All right, and it's not as simple as just saying, I'm going to make 10 contacts and get 10 contracts. No, what are you going to do? In order to sell a home, in order to get a closing, you have to, number one, find someone to talk to, either a listing or a seller. You need to present to them. You need to convince them that you are the right guy or gal to represent them. You've got to have an entire plan. All right? So if your goal is to have 10 closings 1 year from now, that means you've got to have at least 10 customers. All right? Or maybe 5 customers who close 2-sided deals. I think you understand what I'm saying. All right? So I want you to create that list. Here are my goals for 1 year from now. And then I want you to break it down month by month, even week by week if you like. Every month I'm going to do this in order to move me closer to my goals. All right, so I believe in long and short-term goals. Again, goals should be lofty enough to incentivize you, but they shouldn't be so out there that they're unrealistic. All right, keep that in mind. Again, I'm a big believer in writing down your goals. Once you have your goals and you have your baby steps, then you will create your perfect day. And what that is, again, is I want you to get in a quiet place, close your eyes. I want you to imagine that you have achieved those goals. You've had those 10 closings. You've made that commission. You have this many more in the pipeline. Once you get up that day, what does your day look like? I literally want you just to write it out. No one has to see this but you. I want you to write it out. Imagine if you were a successful real estate agent, what would your day be like? All right? It's very important that you write that out. Now, here's the next step. I want you to review all of this on a daily basis. Every day, I want you to pull up that piece of paper or that spreadsheet or however you've done it, and I want you to look at your goals every day. All right, this week I've got to accomplish this, this, and this. Okay, now I am this much closer to my goal. You're going to review them every day. Even the perfect day essay that you are going to write, you are going to keep it close by. You're going to read it at least once a day. I firmly believe, and I've got proof of this in my own life, if you write things down, you read them daily, what your mind perceives as reality will become reality. Okay? If you review those every day, you read them enough, you ingrain that in your brain, believe it or not, your brain will start working you toward that destination. And it will help you achieve your goal. So it's very important that you review them often. You may need to rewrite them sometimes. Maybe you accomplished something that you didn't even think about, but by doing so, it moves you ahead toward your big goal. Okay? It's one of the things about goals. You've got to be flexible because as you go down your pathway on a daily basis, you may meet someone who changes things entirely for you. A good example of that was the day that I met one of my investors. My business changed dramatically because all of a sudden I had one client who was buying 2 or 3 houses every month. And because that client was now on my roster, it changed my goal. I went from having a goal of selling 25 houses a year to doing 50. All right? So keep that in mind. Your goals are not set in stone. Things are going to happen on a daily basis that might send you in a completely unexpected direction. And if so, you adjust your goals accordingly. All right? One of the important things is always set new goals when you reach a goal. All right? Keep in mind, reaching a goal is not the end point in your life. It's the end point for that goal. However, once you reach that goal, what is the next step? 1 year from now, if you have reached your goals, and then you look at your 3-year goals, which you should have written down, it's time to adjust to see what you need to do to achieve those goals. So it's all about flexibility. More than anything, it's about execution. It's about actually doing something every day. No matter how small, you should do something every day that moves you closer to your end goal. Okay, so keep that in mind. There's an old saying in business, baby steps lead to giant leaps, and that is never more applicable than it is to goals. The final thing about goals, a couple of things here. I want you to avoid what I call outside influence goal killers. These are people or circumstances in your life that do their best to kill your goals. And you know this, not everyone is positive. There are going to be negative folks that you meet along the way, and there may be people, even friends and family or loved ones, who will tell you that you're on the wrong path, that you are not going to achieve a goal, and that you are just simply wasting your time. You need to avoid those folks. And if you can't avoid them, you need to just be really honest with them and say, look, this is my path. These are the goals that I have set for myself. I am doing my best to obtain these goals. If you cannot support me in the very least, please do not present negativity to me. Avoid those people like the plague, because they are there, and usually there's someone close to you. And the final point about goal setting is this: find an accountability partner that you can share your journey with. Someone, hopefully maybe someone who's on the same path, another agent that you know. Share your goals with them. Get together with them at least once a week. Review each other's goals. Keep each other accountable. All right? I think accountability partners are incredibly important in this process because they help keep you honest and they help keep you moving along if they're doing their job. An accountability partner's job is to hold you accountable and keep you on track. So try to find someone that you can share that with and do the journey together. And I think you're going to find, if you do all of that stuff that we just talked about, set your goals, short and long term, write them down, review them often, adjust as necessary, set new goals whenever an old goal is reached, and avoid influence killers. I think if you follow those steps, you will find that setting goals is going to take you, again, further, faster in your career. So now let's talk about the second thing that I said was very important on this video, and that is this: time management. The ability for you to manage your time both on and off the clock. Now, you know this, real estate agents, we don't punch a clock. We are always on call. Sometimes we get calls in the middle of the night. We get calls during dinner time. We get calls during family time. No one respects your time unless you teach them to respect your time. So what I do, again, I schedule every hour of the day. I put everything in my phone, it's in my calendar, it's on my computer. I know where I have to be and who I need to speak to at all hours of the day. I manage my time. And as you are going down the path of achieving your goals, you're going to find that if you don't manage your time, odds are the time, again, is going to manage you. Time will get away from you. You won't achieve the things that you need to achieve. You will waste an incredible amount of time if you do not manage your time. Again, I recommend that you put everything in a calendar. I use my phone. I have it also on my computer. You can use a day timer. You can write it in a notebook. I don't care. As long as you are managing your time, that's what I need you to do. I think you can create a daily routine and follow it. All right. Now, of course, it's always going to change because you're going to have appointments pop up and that sort of thing. But if you always have something on your calendar every day, you're never going to find yourself without something to do. All right. For example, if you are an early riser and you get up early and you like to read or have quiet time or meditation, that should be on your calendar. That should be on your schedule. All right. From 7:30 to 8 a.m., I'm going to get out of bed. I'm going to meditate. At 8 o'clock, I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to get my coffee. And I really am serious about blocking off everything you do over the course of the day. All right. By 9 a.m., I'm going to be in my office. Between 9 and 11, I'm going to be making prospecting phone calls. From 11 to 12, I'm going to answer emails. From 12 to 1, I might grab a bite if I'm hungry. And then in the afternoon, maybe I'm working on farming. Maybe I'm working on marketing. Maybe I'm recording a video. Maybe I'm with clients. Every day should be blocked out like that. Okay? It kind of reminds me, I don't know if you're familiar with Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey has what he calls the envelope system, where Dave Ramsey is a financial guru who helps people get out of debt. He recommends that they create a series of envelopes and give every dollar a name. Okay, this is for groceries. This is for rent. This is for the utility bill. This is for clothing. It's kind of the same way when you're doing time management. You have to give every hour a name and stick to it. All right, so if you create that daily routine, you'll fall into that routine and you'll find that time management is a much easier thing to do. Okay, couple of things there. Don't let others determine your schedule. I did this when I first got in the business. I would let the other party always choose the time. I was always flexible. I was just, call me, I'll run out there. I don't do that anymore. I am not a drop everything and run out there kind of guy anymore. If you are going to do a meeting with me, it's going to be on my calendar, it's going to be at a particular time, and you better be there on time. I give you 15 minutes and then I'm gone, and I don't come back. So make sure that you don't let others dictate that to you. And sometimes that's hard to do, I know, when you're working with clients, buyers, and sellers. Sometimes you have to be on their clock. But again, that's fine if it's in your allotted time period. All right? Keep on track, though. If you've got from 1 to 4 to take clients around and show them houses, you need to make sure that these folks know, well, I've got to cut this off at 4 o'clock. Okay? I'm more than happy to drive you around and look at houses, but I've got this at 4 o'clock. It cannot change. It is a hard stop. All right? And I think you'll find that people, they appreciate that. They respect it. 9 times out of 10, they might not go over it. So as long as you set those boundaries, we talked about that in an earlier video, setting boundaries with clients. Your time is a very big boundary that you need to set with clients, all right? So that's going to be it, really. Time management is simply the matter of managing your time because you only have so many hours in the day, All right. You also have to allot for things like family time. I know agents that do not work on Sunday. That's more than fine. Doesn't matter to me. You set your own hours. That's the beautiful thing about this business. But again, you need to manage the time that you have dedicated to your business. All right. That's going to do it on the topics of goals and time management. If you've got any questions or comments, drop them in the thread below and I will address them. Anything else I can do for you, you know how to find me. Give me a call, shoot me a text, or again, just drop a comment below and I'll address it with the group. All right. That's it, guys. Get out there. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.